Hello and welcome to this Come to Jesus Daily Devotional where we continue in our Rivers Vision series. And today's devotion is entitled The Church Was Praying Together. And this week we're looking at God's vision for the church, that we are to be a people who are with one another. We encourage one another. The importance, and today we're particularly talking about the importance of praying together. That if we're going to reflect the life of Christ, if we're going to reflect the life of the early church, then we must be praying together. Of course, personally, but praying with our church family, particularly when we're going through difficulties. So let's read from Acts 12, verses 4 to 5. After arresting him, he put him in prison, handing him over to be guarded by 4 squads, 4 soldiers each. Herod intended to bring him out, this is Peter by the way, bring him out for public trial after the Passover. So Peter was kept in prison, and these are the words, but the church was earnestly praying for him. The church was earnestly praying for him. And we're going to see there's great victory, and he's going to come out of the prison because the church was earnestly praying for him. And I firstly want to say that Christians face many challenges. In our last devotional, we talked about how it's God's vision for the church together that we see ourselves as his holy temple, living stones built together. But that does not mean that we're free from the troubles of life, does it? We face many trials and difficulties in life. No Christian is free from these things. And we need community. We need one another. We need to uphold one another in prayer. We need to hold up each other's arms, as it were. We need encouragement. You need encouragement to run this race as in a healthy fashion. It's like a marathon, isn't it? We need those. If you've ever done any form of running and the crowds along the side of the road cheering you on, we need to cheer each other on. And most importantly, we need to pray with and for one another because, as I've said, we face many difficulties. In Ephesians, we're encouraged to put on the full armour of God. And that section in Ephesians 6 ends with, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions, and pray also for me. We need to pray together if we're going to be strong. In the day of evil and every day, we need to be praying together, praying for one another as well. Do we believe that this is vital? Do we believe that this is important? Do we believe Jesus' wonderful promise? Matthew 18:20, for where 2 or 3 come together in my name, there I am with them. Do we believe this is important to God? Is it important to us? Are we getting God's vision for the church, that one another, we're bringing each other to Jesus? We need encouragement. You know, the Roman army was not victorious and so successful because individually they were well trained, although they were. No, together they formed a unit, and they would often do this tortoise formation where they would all get their shields, lock them together above the heads to the sides, and so that the arrows and spears and attacks would bounce off this tortoise maneuver as they move forward together. They would sometimes form like a chisel shape as well, and together with their shields would burst through the lines. Again, their strength was not in the individuals, their strength was together. And this is true for us, friends. It's not just enough for us individually to put on the armour of God. It's not just enough for us individually to bring myself to Jesus. Rather, we need to come together as well. In fact, I want to say that this works together. Your personal relationship with Jesus, bringing yourself to Jesus, will feed into the experience corporately, right? You bring the strength of your meeting Christ to encourage others when you come together. In fact, one of the things we do when we come together in our community groups, particularly, is we talk about how God has been speaking to you this week, how this has helped you, and we encourage each other through the stories and how God has been speaking. The strength of our corporate life comes out of our personal life, and likewise, as we come together to pray and encourage each other, that then feeds into our personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So do we believe this is vital? Do we believe this is important? Are we lifting those shields together? Are we working together in prayer? As we see, when Peter was put in prison, what was the knee-jerk reaction? What was the response of that early church? They were earnestly praying together. So as we finish, let's ask ourselves a couple of questions. The enemy, the devil, the flesh, and the world, the busyness of our lives, so many things want to stop us praying. Are we giving in to them, or are we going to say, yes, I believe in praying personally, but also I believe I'm called to have this vision to pray with the church? Do you and I, are we faithful to go to every single church prayer meeting? Sounds radical to say it, doesn't it? Let me encourage you. Do you go to every single church prayer meeting? Unless, of course, there are real reasons why one can't make it, right? But I hope we're not making excuses and just going with the flesh, we're just tired. We need to earnestly pray together. This is so important that we do. Do we really believe this? Are we receiving the encouragement and the blessing that comes from being in a church community and particularly praying together? So God bless you.